Hello, and thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Python functions. Python functions can be used to manage a group of codes that you use to do a single thing. In software development, there is a role that is called DRY, don't repeat yourself. So if you know you are going to be doing carrying out an operation over and over again, the best practice is for you to create a function to do it. The reason why you need to create a function is also because it makes the code easier to manage, read, and debug. Today, we are going to be looking at uh, functions, how you can define a function, how to call a function, and we are going to be looking at parameters and arguments, default parameter value, returning values, keyword arguments, arbitrary keyword arguments, nested functions. Yeah, so that's all we are going to be covering. So if you stay tuned. First thing first, how do you define a function? If you want to define a function, you define a function by first writing the def arguments. And then in this case, the name of your function. In this case, we are creating its example grade. And then you have these brackets, and then you complete it with a column. And then what you want your function to do, you put it here. In this case, we just want the function to print hello world. Once you've created this function, the next thing that you do is to call the function. You see how easy it is to call the function. You just write the name of the function and this parenthesis in front of it. And that is you. Okay, you create this function to print hello world. And if you want to call the function, you run this and bam, you have hello world. Now we are going to look at parameters and arguments. If you look at the function we have here, this function would not take up any parameter or argument. But in many instances, you want your functions to take some parameters and arguments. Let's see how that works. Assuming we want to have this create function, let's assume we want to add an argument name inside this function, and then we want to print hello, the name of the person. So in this case, if you want to call it, you can say great, and then it will be Alice. And if you run this, you get hello Alice. Sometimes you want to have some default parameter in your argument. So if you want to have it, you can set a default value for parameter. And that means if this function is called without an argument, it will print the default value. But if you now put another argument, then it calls that value. In this case, if you call it the first time, it will go with what, because that's the default value because you've not included an argument. But if you add a value inside it and then it will call the value. Let's call this and you will see. And then if you look at this, you can see that we've only asked the function to do something. In most cases, you want your function to return a value. And this is how you can do that. Let's assume you have this function to add. This function is adding x plus y, is adding x and y, and you want it to return x plus y. So now you have something that your function is returning. So if you say results, add 5, 3, your function will return 8. So with return, you don't have to print. It will automatically return. When you call this function, it automatically return this value. And then let's look at keyword arguments. Let's assume you have this function to describe pets. The animals, you give the animal and you give the name. So you want to print, I have a animal named name, right? So if this output will be, you can put an argument, you can specify what you want in this because this looks like a key value. So you can say, you can specify name and cats. You can specify name is Whisker and animal is cat. So you can say, I have a cat named Whisker. And then you can also have an arbitrary argument. In this case, you have an argument where you don't know how many arguments will be passed into the function. So you put this sign there to say you can get to infinity. So let's look at this. In this case, make pizza. You can put the different toppings, print toppings. So in this case, make pizza pepperoni. It takes pepperoni. But let's assume you want to add, you don't just want pepperoni, you want mushroom, spring pepper, and extra cheese. Then you can put everything in there and you still get them. The next thing we want is now look into arbitrary keyword arguments. In this case, you have this function build profile and you have this user info. So in this case, you have this, and if you want, first name is John, last name is Doe, and location is New York City. And then, as you can see, it's able to print it for you like a key value pair. First name John, last name Doe, and so that's arbitrary keyword arguments. It is possible for you to have a function inside another function, and that is what we call a nested function. Let's look at it. You can define function inside other function. The inner function will be local to the outer function and can access its variables. So let's look at it. Define outer function text, define inner function print text. So this outer function, inner function print text. So you can use this argument that you've designed here and you can put it here, and then it will work just like that. Let's run this. So functions are powerful, they are versatile, and the main thing about them is they allow you to encapsulate your code. It improves your readability, it makes your code modular and maintainable. So as you are trying to transform to a data analyst or a data scientist or a data engineer, which of them or that you would like to be, it is very important for you to understand the use of Python as the use of function. I'm going to encourage you, please practice this. We are going to be giving you some assignment that is going to be testing your knowledge. Uh, Make sure you do it and make sure you are comfortable with functions. Write some functions yourself. You can write functions to, like, as you can see here, write functions for addition, subtraction, multiplication. Write function for those simple stuff, because that is the point of it, and then you can build it up. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. It's been nice having you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.